Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for the segment, we have Sara Mehle, Index Research Strategist at Nasdaq Global Indexes, to discuss a technical update on the Nasdaq-100. We'll also take a look at relative strength and comparisons. Sara, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks, and let's kick it off and take a look at some of the trends that you're seeing.
Hey, Jill. Yeah, so today I want to give a brief technical update on the Nasdaq-100 index through a technical lens, but looking first at just the trend and the chart, and then looking from a relative strength basis. So when we first just look at the point and figure chart, we can see right here that the trend is positive. We're trading well above that bullish support line. We've given 2 consecutive buy signals, and we're 1 box now from giving a 3rd consecutive, and that's where I put that little gold star. That would happen with the move to 13,300 or higher. Year to date, the Nasdaq-100 is up 19% through yesterday's close. We're right there in the middle of the trading bands, not too overbought, too oversold, but we have support here at 12,800. But I think that the string of consecutive buy signals here is a bullish sign for the index.
What percent of Nasdaq-100 constituents are positive?
Yeah, so we can take the analysis one step further, and we can look at the percentage of stocks within the Nasdaq-100 index that are trading in a positive trend, or which ones are trading on buy signals. So I have some of those stats here. So 58% of the stocks within the Nasdaq-100 are trading in a positive trend. We like to see this number at 50 or above to signal, health within a particular index or market. So this 58 number is pretty great. We like it here. Weekly distribution, I thought this was pretty interesting as well. If you look at all the stocks within the Nasdaq-100 index and look at the kind of average weekly distribution, it's 0 right now. So I have put that bell chart up there to show that it can be negative 100 to plus 100, but we're right at 0. So right in the middle of that trading band, which again, not too overbought, not too oversold at all. 48% of stocks within the Nasdaq-100 index are trading on a point and figure buy signal, so controlled by demand. And then relative strength positive. We have 50% of stocks that are on point and figure buy signal or relative strength buy signals versus the S&P 500 equal weighted index. And so, right there, we would expect to see this number higher if we continue to outpace the S&P 500 as we are now. But right now, again, 50%. I think that the best number here that really jumped out at me is that 58% with the positive trend. I think that's a good number to see.
And finally, let's wrap up and talk about relative strength comparisons.
We just looked at the Nasdaq-100, basically just on its own, looking at trend. We can also take the Nasdaq-100 index daily price movement, and we can compare it to other broad market benchmarks or other ETFs. So here we have the relative strength chart comparing the Nasdaq-100 versus the S&P 500. And the way that this chart works, we take the closing price of Nasdaq-100 divided by the closing price of the S&P 500. And we multiply that value by 100 just to get a better number. We plot that in a point and figure chart. And when this is rising, so in a column of X's, it favors the Nasdaq-100 on a near-term basis. And then when it's on a buy signal, that's an even more long-term indicator of strength. So I just wanted to point out here that we have given consecutive buy signals. We are currently back into a column of X's. So really showing that positive relative strength. And this chart goes back to 2002, I believe. So this is a long chart. We did see a brief period of pullback into O's over the last year, but we have reversed back up into X's as of March. And then one other relationship I wanted to show is that of the Nasdaq-100 versus ARKK. And that is a similar chart looking at the S&P 500, again, on a point and figure buy signal, so a relative strength buy signal, and also in a column of X's, telling us that we have long and near-term strength versus that particular ETF as well. So, like I said, up 19% so far year to date. We had a really strong day today, up a little over 2.3%. We still have an hour to close, but I think that these are some just a technical update here, looking at the Nasdaq-100 under a lens of just looking at itself and its trend, and then also relative strength.
All right, Sara, appreciate the updates as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.